my mind with better information. So, and
Yeah.
I've grown into an understanding of why, and it's uncomfortable because those of us who have, but I bring her up because while she's against putting hands on folk, her verbal skills,
Right.
so somebody was trying to cover her and I don't even know what the origin was, but they, I don't know which one do I start with. Okay, here we go. So somebody named Daz Mason said, "Notice you're all effing black, racist, horrible people. You should have stayed in Africa. World would have been a better place." This is what this guy tweeted. Stacey Patton, she said, "Daz Mason, let's talk about where Europeans should have stayed instead of rampaging across the world like a disease-ridden horde of thieves, rapists, and genocidal maniacs. They should have stayed in their own cold, famine-ridden, plague-infested lands, scratching lice out of their scalps and perfecting the fine art of defecating in their drinking water. They should have stayed in their drafty castles and mud huts, cultivating a rich tradition of inbreeding and witch burnings. They should have kept on impaling enemies on spikes for sport, boiling people alive in cauldrons, torturing peasants with iron maidens, breaking wheels and flaying knives just to hear them scream. They should have fixed their filthy medieval streets where disease-ridden mothers abandoned babies in gutters to be eaten by rats and fathers sold their daughters into child brothels to survive another winter. They should have stayed put, burning midwives as witches, bloodletting themselves to death, and stacking infant corpses like firewood. They should have kept hacking off noses and ears as punishments, crucifying prisoners, hanging children for minor offenses, castrating, fighting over scraps of moldy bread, feasting on rotting meat, crawling with maggots and using urine to wash their clothes while they painted themselves as the pinnacle of civilization. They should have kept drowning babies in rivers, marrying off 12-year-old girls to syphilic noblemen, maybe bathe more than once a year. The world didn't need European, quote, civilization. They should have stayed rotting in their own filth, killing each other over imaginary divine rights. But no. They just had to spread across the planet like a horde of locusts in powdered wigs, massacring indigenous people, stealing lands, enslaving millions, rewriting history to cast themselves as heroes, and then having the sheer fucking audacity to tell black people where we should have stayed. The world would have been a better place if Europeans had stayed in Europe and left Africa, the Americans, Asia, and the Pacific Islands uncolonized, unraped, and unpillaged. You unwashed chicken. Breath smelling, generational inbreeding. You are the inbred afterbirth of failed conquerors that should have ended up in a damp European gutter centuries ago. Thoughts and prayers.